What's up, YouTube? For today's video, with a full Veil ability Pokemon team. I thought this is a really cool team because we're going to cover some abilities you don't get to see all that often. So we got Aroma Veil, Flower Veil, Pastel Veil, Sand Veil, Sweet Veil, and Water Veil. So it's pretty interesting abilities. Now, today's battles will be done in the doubles format because some of these only work in doubles. So I thought this would be a nice little mix-up on the majority of single battles that I do. If you want to check me out on Twitch, that's where I do all my streams, my battles, theme teams, all that sort of stuff. Let's get into today's battles. I've got two of them, if I didn't mention that. This one is against Peeps a lot. Now, I'm going to be explaining what all the Veil abilities do, and of course, I'll be explaining my strategy too. I'm trying to make all the abilities work, or, you know, give them a good chance of working. So we've got Rapidash and we've got Stunfisk as a lead, and we've got a Ralts and Hatina lead, which is interesting. So I've got this Stunfisk as Sandstorm, Toxic, Stomping Tantrum at Rockside, Max Health and Max Attack, Adamant Nature. Now, what the Stunfisk is going to do is actually going to poison the Pastel Veil Rapidash, right? So the whole strategy with this one, of course, a Pastel Veil prevents poison, and it also cures poison when it's swapped into the field as well for the ally, which is really, really cool. Now, Stunfisk, I thought I could go for Toxic on Rapidash, deliberately make it fail, and then I could go for Stomping Tantrum for a double base power. I thought that'd be pretty interesting. So on the Rapidash, I've got a Pastel Veil set with Safety Goggles, and I've got Protect, Dazzling Gleam, Trick Room, and Zen Headbutt. So a mixed set. I've got Max Health, and I've also got Max Special Attack, and I've got Brave Nature. Now, the Stunfisk was a Sand Veil set with Sandstorm, so that's why I gave the Rapidash Safety Goggles too. So if you don't know what Sand Veil does, I've done a lot of these sort of teams with Sand Veil. It gives a boost of 1.25 times in evasiveness, and of course gives you immunity to damage with the sand. But, you know, Stunfisk obviously doesn't need that anyway. So go for a Stomping Tantrum, and that is going to be the end of Ralts. It's not going to be able to see anymore. Now, I don't know if my opponent is running any sort of theme team here. Maybe you can pick up on it and let me know in the comments. So, also, if you like the theme teams, people, please leave a like on the video. It only takes a second, and it really does help me out there. And big shout out to all the people that have been liking the videos and leaving comments. I really, really appreciate that. And also like to really read my comments too. So if you've got something interesting to say or whatever about the video and stuff like that, I read them over my breakfast, and I always like reading them. It's fun. And it could be on any video too. The YouTube mobile app shows you all the comments you got on all your videos for that day. So I always like doing that. Stunfisk is going to get its first kiss there. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but the Hatina is going to get some health back. I'm assuming that's like a bulky Everlight set. It can actually get pretty bulky. So setting up the Sand Storm now, which is going to activate the Sand Veil, which is going to be quite nice. Now the Rapidash won't get damaged by the sand thanks to the Safety Goggles it is holding. So now Rapidash is going to set up the Trick Room here. That's why I gave it Brave Nature. And I thought I could use Zen Headbutt too to maybe try and get some flinches under the Trick Room. And the Trick Room would benefit Stunfisk too, because, you know, Stunfisk isn't exactly the most speediest Pokemon. Now, Stunfisk is Brave Nature too. If I said Adamant, I did mean Brave. So go for Dazzling Gleam, because Dazzling Gleam hits both opponents and doubles. And Rockside is a nice move too, because it also hits both moves and has a chance of flinching. So here comes the Psychic from the Hatina. Unfortunately, Sand Veil didn't work on the Stunfisk, and it is going to be fatal. But at least it took a Ralts out, right? You can't, you're not going to spit at that one. So go for a Dazzling Gleam there on both the Pokemon, and we got a Snarl here. So Snarl is going to hit my Rapidash and drop its special attack. So that's no good. It's going to drop my, you know, obviously my Dazzling Gleam isn't going to do as much. So a little bit of Sandstorm damage there on both Spectra and Hatina now. And this has got leftovers, so it's an interesting set too. So I thought, what's the next Pokemon I could swap in? And we'll go into Aromatisse. So the Aromatisse set has got the Aroma Veil. So what Aroma Veil does, I'll explain this. We've got Misty Terrain, Trick Room, After You, and Dazzling Gleam. Kind of similar to Rapidash, and we got Max Health and Max Special Attack, Quiet Nature. Now, what Aroma Veil does, it protects you from Attract, Disable, Encore, Taunt, Torment, and also Heal Block. So it's a pretty interesting sort of ability, and very, very good for doubles, you know, a great ability for that. And very, very nice if your team is a little bit prone to those sort of moves to shut you down. So I went for a Mystic Explosion. I got a critical hit on the Hatina, and I took out, obviously I took myself out there, but Spectra actually managed to live that. So why I went for Protectile on Rapidash, obviously I didn't want to take any damage there either. So that actually didn't do a lot of damage to Spectra. I think this is running some sort of bulk on it, which is kind of interesting. So the next Pokemon I'm going to bring in is going to be Comfy, right? I'm pretty comfy with this matchup. Now, as the name suggests, or Comfy looks like a bunch of flowers, so it's got the ability Flower Veil. So on Comfy, I actually did a swap into Serena because this is how this strategy is going to work. So I'll explain both the moves first. So in comes a Rock and Roller. It's going to go for an explosion. And yeah, this one is going to be hitting very, very fast. So that doesn't hit the Spectre at all, but does a lot of damage to Serena and Comfy. So getting rid of half my health. So the Comfy is a Trick Room, Dazzling Gleam, Floral Healing, and my favorite healing move there. We got Max Health and Max Special Attack. And I've got Floral Healing to actually heal up my partner. It looks pretty cool too. It's like the Hawaii sort of look. So Serena's going to get all of its health back. Now Comfy's got the ability Flower Veil. What Flower Veil does, basically grass types cannot get their stats lowered or inflicted by status. So that's why I swapped in Serena, right, which is pretty cool. So I've got that going. Obviously, with the Serena, I've got the Sweet Veil. What Sweet Veil does, it prevents sleep, basically. So, you know, say if someone's spamming, in this case, like Spore or something like that, you know, all status on the sleeping side would be stopped. So lots of handy abilities here to not only help out the Pokemon with it, but the partner as well. So where comes Zwellios? Zwellios can hit pretty hard if it is a physical set. This one has got Dazzling Gleam. In fact, this has got Dazzling Gleam on both of them. I also put Helping Hand on here as well and Low Kick. So I'm going to go for Helping Hand on my Comfy. We're going to make this hit pretty hard here. And what's going to happen is the Spectra is going to go for Protect. So Zwellios is going to take the brunt of the attack here. It's going to pop a Head Smash. Now this thing has Hustle and it's no games, right? And that's going to take up my Serena, unfortunately. However, Serena did get the Helping Hand off on the Comfy. And now it's going to hit very, very hard. And you know, it's easily going to be able to take out the Zwellios now. I'm actually kind of surprised that Head Smash did land because, you know, with Hustle and Head Smash, right, it's very, very inaccurate. But that's the end as well. It did actually drop my Serena. So the Sandstorm is going to subside now. So I've got the Rapidash and I've got one other Pokemon. Now this Serena set, I didn't actually explain that. That was Max Health and Max Special Attack. For EV span and Helping Hand, Low Kick, and Acro Pressure. Acro Pressure randomly raises 2 stats. Next Pokemon, and in doubles, it can give a stat to your ally too, which is really cool. So I've got Seeking Air. We've got a Zubat called Blind as a Bat. That's a pretty good name for it. And we've got on this Seeking set, we've got Max Health. Sorry, not Max Health. Max Attack and Max Speed. Drill Run, Bounce, Waterfall, and Flip Turn with the Choice Band. So Water Veil, this is a little bit more of a known ability, obviously prevents burn. So it doesn't obviously come into effect too often, but say someone wants to use Will-O-Miss against you and lands, well, you're not going to get burned and your attack is going to be halved. So that's why I ran a physical Seeking. So we got a Dynamax Zubat, only on PIMPNITE channel here, people. And, you know, this could be a bit of a threat. It can have a Poison type move to boost its special attack, and it also could have a Flying type move. This is funny because they had the Water Veil stopping the Will-O-Wisp. That's perfect, so Seeking doesn't get burned. I went for Dazzling Gleam, they're just a little bit of extra damage, and this I actually went for a Flip Turn. I went for Flip Turn on Spectra, and that was finally enough to take it out. Actually, it was around for like most of the battle. Like a bulky Spectra. So last Pokemon now is going to be the Zubat in Dynamax. I'm going to swap that out and bring in Rapidash because Rapidash does have Zen Headbutt as well. So now it's going to be going for a Max Airstream here, and that's going to land on Comfy, but it doesn't actually quite take it out, so that's really, really good. So I've got the option of also going for Dynamax here as well. So it's going to lose a little bit of its health. I'm going to get a round of leftovers on Comfy too, but turning Comfy into a powerful special attack was pretty fun too. So I've got only Dazzling Gleam here. I'm thinking, well, I might go Floral Healing on Rapidash instead. That's going to be better because Rapidash is going to be the one, to try and get rid of this Zubat. And I feel confident even with no attack EVs, I should still be able to take the Zubat out because Zubat isn't exactly what you call bulky, right? It's good to see a Dynamax Zubat though. I actually been looking at trying to revamp my old Zubat suite from a very, very long time ago. I think I did like an attract set. Maybe a nasty plot, but yeah, I am actually looking at trying to, do a revamp Zubat from, that was well back in 5th gen, I think I did that strategy. So now we got the Zubat go for Max Zuzi. It's going to boost its special attack by 1 stage, but it is not going to take out Rapidash. since I'm running bulk on this Rapidash, max health, I didn't go down. If I was running a sweeping set, you know, that was going to be the end of it. So now Comfy's going to go first and go for the floral healing here, and it's going to heal up that Rapidash real nicely. But I was confident I could take out the Zubat from here. I was hoping anyway. So go for the Max Dinosaur coming off the Zen Headbutt, and that is going to be enough to take out the Ziggity Zubat. And that, my friends, is the very, very first battle with the Veil Abilities team. But I felt this battle was really cool because I got to show off all the, pretty much all of the Veil abilities too. So I really wanted to showcase all of the abilities. I did have actually some really close battles with this team, but I really didn't get to use my Veil abilities at all. So I didn't include those battles in today's video. Next battle, this one was against Honor, and this is an interesting battle here as well. Now, the first Pokemon we got here is going to be a Claydol and a Gengar. So, like, okay, interesting lead. That sort of tells me maybe it's going to be an explosion. When the Ghost Pokemon, you're always going to think it might go boom. So, we got the Comfy and Serena strategy here. Obviously, you know what's going to happen here. I can go for Dazzling Gleam here. I mean, it won't do a lot to Gengar, but, you know, he obviously will hurt the Claydol. So, Gengar's going to go for Trick. And it's actually going to swap the items with the Claydol. So it's going to go for a Trick Choice Band Explosion, which is really, really cool. So I actually was right about it being Explosion. Since it had the Choice Band, it hit pretty hard, but not hard enough because I was running fairly bulky Pokemon here. Unfortunately for my opponent, I was running max health on both of them. So I went for the Acro Pressure. That's going to actually boost his special attack by 2 on that Comfy, which is really, really good. And now I'm going to be able to get a Trick Room up. So things are looking pretty nice at the moment. If I wasn't running max health on Serena, I wouldn't have taken that nearly as well. Next Pokemon that we got is the Archeops, called Overpower. I'm like, wonder what this set is going to be. So I've got Dazzling Gleam here, which is going to be pretty powerful, and I've also got Floral Healing. So I decided, let's go for Dazzling Gleam here. Now, I could also go for Dazzling Gleam on both of these Pokemon. That'll do all right, so let's go ahead and do that. So Serena's going to go first with its Dazzling Gleam. Doesn't do much damage to either of them, let's be real. Curse Body kicks in for the Gengar. I'm like, man, I can't use any more Dazzling Gleams. So go for Dazzling Gleams on Comfy. That does a lot of damage there to Archeops, putting it into its Defeatist range. And then Gengar Curse Bodies it again. I'm like, wow, that's really, really lucky. So Gengar's going to be a physical set, almost take out Serena, very, very close. Once again, since I was running max health, you know, I didn't faint. So if I was running a sweeping set, Serena would have, you know, fainted a long time ago. So this is going to be a struggle. Archeops, only up here I shut it. Unfortunately for poor Archeops, since I put it into Defeatist range, its attack is going to be halved. And it did like virtually no damage. It did like more damage to itself from the struggle recall. So a little bit of bad luck there. So I can go for another Dazzling Gleam, or I could go, actually, I'm going to go for Floral Healing, because I'm actually can't do anything. So I thought, well, let's go for a low kick on the Archeops and take that one out, right? That's going to be fine. I can go for a Floral Healing with my Comfy on the Serena, and that should allow me to actually live another Poison Jab, hopefully then. So healing my Serena nearly all the way up, which is great. Gengar is going to go for another Poison Jab, and obviously it went for Serena to finish it off. But since I got the Floral Healing going, it's good. You know, things are going pretty nicely at the moment with this little combination. I nearly thought, when Comfy first got announced, I always thought that it was going to be a grass type, you know, like it literally is flowers. So I've got the disable at the moment on that. Scissor comes in, so I'm going to swap out the Comfy, even though I've got that, got that only option of one move, so I thought, let's swap it out. And Serena's going to go for a low kick on Scissor. Does pretty good damage. I'm kind of happy about that. Now, Scissor's going to go for a laser focus. Obviously, they want to get a critical hit next turn, so that's curious. Now, Gengar is going to go for Trick here. So Gengar is going to trick the Citrus Berry to the Scizor, and it's going to get leftovers itself. So like, okay, this is interesting. So maybe they want their Scizor to be able to take another hit. So I was like, okay, well, I can go for either Toxic on Scizor, or I can go for it on my Rapidash. So Pastel Veil will, obviously activate. So I was like, okay, it doesn't really matter. Let's just go for that. And then I could go for a double base Power Stomping Tantrum. Now, my opponent is going to go for a Dynamax, and it's going to be Dynamax Gengar. So I was like, okay. The only thing about running a physical Gengar is the fact that if you go for Max Ooze, you're boosting special attack, even though you've got a physical move, right? So it's sometimes good if you really want to run a physical Gengar, not that it's very good, is to have something like Drain Punch, right? So Pastel Veil is going to come into effect there. Here comes a special Scissor. That actually does really, really good damage to me. Like, it got me a crit, which is very, very good. And now Gengar's going to go for its max ooze here. So, like, I wonder if Rapidash will actually live this, and it didn't. So that's going to be the end of Rapidash. I might even say that crit from Scizor actually could have mattered there, but it's still, I still feel it was a pretty good chance of it fainted to Gengar regardless. So, bye-bye Rapidash. Now, we've got leftovers recovery on the Gengar. I thought it was going to be Black Sludge for a second, but it was leftovers. And the Trick Room is going to one out. So, I'm going to go into Aromatisse here. So, I thought, well, what can Aromatisse do? Maybe I could just, I could set the Trick Room up here and then go for Stomping Tantrum. So, let's set the Trick Room up here and go for Stomping Tantrum. Gengar's going to go for a Max Guard. I was like, no! Scizor's got Flash Cannon on Aromatisse. Does a lot of damage there. That did a heap of damage. Stomping Tantrum is going to fail on Gengar. Man, that sucks. So, this Scizor's doing a lot of damage right now. So, I thought, okay, well, at least I've got the speed advantage, with Stunfisk and Aromatisse. That should be pretty good. I should be able to go first. So, Gengar's going to get another round of leftovers here. I probably actually need to go for a Dynamax myself. So, I decided to go for Dynamax Stunfisk and then go for After You on Stunfisk. So, that means the Aromatisse will go first, and obviously it can go After You. So what After You does, it makes your Pokemon, or in this case Stunfisk, go directly after the Pokemon using After You. Just in case this is a slow Scizor or something like that, I don't want to take any risks. I do like After You. It's a really, really cool move. You can also do it like, say you've got a really fast Pokemon, right? And that Pokemon's got After You, but you've got a really slow Pokemon. But you need that slow Pokemon to go first to get the dub, right? So what you do on your fast Pokemon, you go After You and you use it on your slow Pokemon. And after your very fast Pokemon goes first, it'll go right after it. So it's really, really cool. Hence the name After You. So go for the Dynamax Stunfisk here. It all looks pretty funny. And I'm going to go for Max Quake coming off Stomping Tantrum. Meowstic is going to be able to take that pretty good. I actually don't know what this scene team here is like as well, so if you can guess anything, let me know in the comment section, of course. So I'm going to get a special defense rise. Aromatisse is probably going to get hit by a Flash Cannon, but then Scizor uses Laser Focus. So like, okay, it's going to go for a crit this time. Now, Aromatisse does have an exploding move, so I thought, well, let's go for Max Guard, and then I'll go for Misty Explosion. I know that it's not going to do a lot of damage to Scizor, but it should do a fair whack of damage to Meowstic. So popping that Misty Explosion there, obviously it won't hit my Stunfisk, and I'm hoping maybe I can take the Meowstic out. Let's go ahead and see. I do have Max Special Attack. So Stunfisk is going to block the Misty Explosion, and Meowstic gets hit reasonably hard. Doesn't take it out though, but still some pretty good damage there to both Pokemon. Now on this turn, we got the Citrus Berry activating on the Scizor as well. So it's going to get a little bit of health back there. That was a Citrus Berry the Gengar gave it earlier on. So Flash Cannon is going to be the move that Scizor is going to use. Unfortunately for the Scizor, I've got the Max Guard up. So I'm going to block both those attack. Meowstic tried to trick me an item then too. Wonder what that was going to be. So I'm going to bring in Serena again. Obviously, the coast is clear to use it. And now I can either go for another Max Quake or a Max Rockfall. Max Rockfall's there to set up the sand too. That's going to be quite good. But I thought, well, let's go ahead and get rid of the Scizor. This thing's doing a fair bit of damage. So I was like, I'll just go Dazzling Gleam and Max Quake. That should be more than enough to take both these Pokemon outright. So hitting the Scizor pretty hard there, and it is going to be going down, which is good. And giving Stunfisk yet another boost in special defense, which is going to make it pretty bulky to say the least already with Max L. So bye-bye Scizor. Next Pokemon to go is going to be Serena with a Dazzling Gleam, and that only had a little bit of health left on Meowstic, so that is the end of that too. So there's there's two more Pokemon. We got the Gengar from earlier on the Dynamax, and we also have the Flygon. So I was like, okay, Flygon, So that's the end of the Stunfisk's Dynamax. A solid performance there, by the way. Now, I've got Dazzling Gleam to hit both of them with Serena. I've also got Toxic and Stomping Tantrum. I was like, well, I could go Stomping Tantrum just on Gengar, or I could just deliberately, I don't know, do a fail move. But I was like, nah, let's just go for that. So go for Dazzling Gleam here would be the best option to hit, but at least the Flygon for super effective damage, and the Stomping Tantrum will hit the Gengar hard. So I went for Toxic here in the end. I was like, let's poison the Flygon, unless it's some sort of troll set. I pretty much know what I have to deal with the Gengar. I know that it's a physical Gengar. So here comes a Dazzling Gleam from Serena. Does very, very good damage to Flygon there, so that was good. Now, this is interesting. The Gengar is going to go for a Reflect type, and it's going to copy Serena's typing. So now it's going to become the same type as Serena, and it's not going to be a Ghost anymore. So Flygon is going to be a Mud Slap set, which is quite funny because this Stunfisk relies on evasion to actually, for the Steam team, right? Now, Gengar's going to get a little bit of health recovery back there, which is cool. And now Flygon is going to take some more toxic damage. So that's actually pretty good now. Unfortunately, the Trick Room ran out. So like, oh, I got to swap out the Stun Fist. So this time I went into Seeking, because Seeking's got a pretty good attack set. With Choice Band, it's going to be doing pretty hard. Flygon popped a Fire Blast there, so I was like, okay, that's a fully special Flygon, which is pretty interesting. Gengar's trying to desperately take out Serena with a Poison Jab. It's had no luck the whole battle. So I thought this was fun. I went for the low kick on Gengar. It did do a lot of damage though, but it was pretty cool to actually use a low kick on a Ghost type Pokemon there. And with Reflect type, it allowed that. Reflect type's a really, really cool move. So Flygon's gonna have probably, I reckon it's got one more turn left. Like, let's go for Bounce. It's super effective on Gengar. This is gonna be cool because remember, Gengar's sharing the same typing as Serena. So swapping out Serena here and going into Comfy. I thought that'd be a comfortable swapping. So now we got Bug Buzz from Flygon, and Comfy's going to be able to take that one very, very easy. So once again, Serena would have probably been fainted there. So a Shadow Punch from the Gengar, that was its physical Ghost type move. Difficult to run on Gengar, a physical set, doesn't have a lot of options. Shadow Punch doesn't miss though, it can be quite heady. So we got Gengar with a little bit more leftovers here. I've got the incoming bounce, super effective, and we had a couple of rounds of leftover recovery there too on Gengar and Comfy. So this is like, well, I feel like I go for Dazzle Gleam of Flygon, that'll take it out, and Bounce should take out the Gengar. That's going to be what I'm thinking is going to happen right here. I've also got Floral Healing, but at this stage it's better to go for it. So Steel Wing is going to come from Flygon, doesn't take Comfy out. Very, very close though. And now Gengar's going to go for Reflect type, copying Flygon's typing. So obviously trying to get around that weakness from Bounce. And now here comes the Bounce. It does a lot of damage, and Gengar gets paralyzed. Like, wow, that was really, really lucky. Yeah. And since now the Gengar actually copy Flygon's typing, they both get hit for super effective damage, and that's the end of the battle, my friends. Hope you enjoyed it. A pretty cool battle there. I got to show you all the abilities, the Veil abilities, and it was a lot of fun doing a doubles battle today. Maybe I might bring back some more doubles battles if you like. Let me know in the comment section. All right, people. Peace out. Catch you tomorrow.